And we're here at ADIPEC 2019, and I'm joined by Erik Verdeyen. He's with Qpinch. Now, Erik, you look at emissions and you look at energy efficiency, and also, you also believe strongly that there's a need for both of these things to live together and to deliver together.
Exactly. Decarbonization is becoming top of mind. You hear it everywhere. And energy efficiency should be top of mind when you talk about decarbonization. So basically, if you save on energy, you're saving not only emissions, but also cash flow. And especially in these regions where energy prices are really high, that this is also a big concern.
And also we look at, I think, at the social reaction over the last few years and the social outrage in many ways around the world too. So emissions for energy companies, this has to be, I think, and I'm hearing it, number one.
Exactly, and we're seeing in some regions also carbon pricing going up. So again, this is another cost factor. So at the same time, if you have energy efficiency and you have this cash savings, and you bring to the table also the fact that you reduce emissions at a large scale, this is a win-win situation. So it's basically we need all technologies like digital that we hear all the time, but let's not forget that energy efficiency is in the DNA of this sector.
Now talk to me about a technology that you've been working on for a while, and you see particularly application for this in the downstream sector, which is very energy intensive, and yes, in terms of emissions, probably a bit high. So what can you do?
Well, exactly. If you look at how a refinery or petrochemicals work, you put in a lot of heat energy and it has to come out as waste heat, eventually. What we have done is looking for a technology that is able to upgrade that waste heat and make new process heat. And the net result is basically that we reduce the energy intensity of the whole process. So we reduce the energy needed to driving those processes, and at the same time, of course, we reduce emissions and we save a lot of cash.
Now your background is more IT, and it's more almost probably data driven in that, but you've looked at a problem, an interesting problem, and come up with a solution. Again, it's all about technology and digitalization in many ways that will actually, do you think it will help this industry solve the big problem of emissions?
Yeah, I've seen the digital transformation in the 90s and in the 2000s, and what I feel now coming in as a novice in this industry is that I see the same things happening what happened in 94, 95 with the internet emerging. So basically I think the energy transition is going to be the same thing as the internet transition, but on a much, much bigger level. It's going to be holistic, and it's going to be part of a bigger transition which is going to a circular economy. So it's really going to be big.
Now also, of course, the petrochemical sector, the refining sector, the entire downstream sector, if we're looking at where the feedstock is, we're probably going to see more oil going into that when we're looking at possible reduction in oil, possibly gas as well. But again, this will be then more plants been open and all that, but they have to be new plants, they have to be efficient plants. So does your process actually help give key players and major players a solution?
Yeah, exactly. We looked at waste heat, but actually our technology is capable of upgrading any low-grade heat. So our first clients are really interested because in their green fields we can bring a lot of savings. We're looking at 5, 10 or even more % savings in a greenfield operation with no OPEX. And that's the big kicker. Someone told me a couple of weeks ago that basically if you look at renewables, in the beginning windmills, solar panels were very expensive, but they made it because there was no OPEX, and now they're very cheap in CAPEX, and you have no OPEX still. And our technology is unique in the sense that we do not need electrical energy. We just take part of the heat that is now lost and we put it into the other part of the heat that is also lost, and we upgrade it. So we get back 50% of these huge amounts, hundreds of megawatts of waste heat in petrochemicals, and we turn it back into new process heat. And this saves, of course, process heat at the beginning of the plant.
So this is very exciting, a technology that actually will reduce emissions, energy efficiency, and save money. I think you're probably onto a winner. So here at ADIPEC 2019, obviously you're talking to some players about this. And again, huge downstream component here, people very, very interested. What's the reaction you're getting, and how are you finding ADIPEC 2019?
It's amazing. I mean, I've been to many of the conferences today. Again, it confirms what we hear in other conferences. Decarbonization is becoming top of mind. The realization also with the C-level people that they have to respond to this call for action from the general audience, but also what strikes me is that what they say is, we have to do this in a positive way. We cannot fight each other. We have to see our industry as being part of the solution. It may have been part of the problem. This is my opinion, my personal opinion, but now it's going to be part of the solution. We need to make this energy transition work, and we'll need the petrochemical sector.